It's going so well that we are having remarkable improvements in every index in the world. And of course, our barometer has confirmed that corruption prevalence has dropped. It was 70% at the time I was appointed. It has dropped to 40% in 2020. So these are the kinds of things that are showing. Yes, in just 3 years. Somebody can steal $1 billion and the judiciary fines him $50,000. If you find the person guilty, the person has to pay back that money. Okay, but also in addition to paying back that money, you can fine. We also increase the number of years that you could be in prison. It used to be 3 years, it's now 5 years, but it could be as high as possible. So sure that we strengthen asset declaration. Every public officer is supposed to declare their assets. And one of the problems we have with the fight against corruption in Africa is that our leaders don't like declaring their assets. So when they come into office, you don't know what they have, and when they leave, it's difficult to determine what they have. Corruption fight back, so you need to have a lot of courage as an anti-graft campaigner to really take it on.
Hello, Mr. Lomfamude Munakabo. Welcome to Sherix Television, the place whoosai would bring Sierra Leone and the rest of Africa to whoosai ever you day around the globe. Of course, now a delight to we for bring you a special program again today, as we can always do, and this now based on your request that you go on for. Let we transform the many social media arguments that we can go on between the two predominant political parties in Sierra Leone, and that now the Sierra Leone People's Party, the SLPP, one of the ruling political party in Sierra Leone, and the main opposition, All People's Congress. All time we see members and supporters of them parties, then they engage each other on social media, and so when I be one for, let we transform then discussions then they into a debate where we will talk on several of the national issues. And so now that's what they do now so today, now Sherix Television, like how we can always do. But one for tell you for say, if you want for continue forget the program, then you can go to facebook.com/Sherix Web Radio. You can able forget with it clearly at this point, or you can just go to youtube.com and you search for Sherix Television, and once you do that one day with the ask that where you watch with videos, please click like on the videos, and also comment about videos then, and the most important thing is for us to subscribe to with videos so that you're able for the get notification anytime we go live. You go able to get notification, or anytime we upload a new video, you go able to see them. So we ask that you like with videos, you comment about with videos, and at the same time you subscribe to our channel on YouTube. And so, ladies and gentlemen, from last week to this week, plenty things that don't happen at Sierra Leone, and then things that wouldn't happen, we want to bring you some updates right about this time, so that you get an idea of waiting don't happen at the country this very past 2 weeks. So sit around and get that update right now.
Yesterday I talked say God know they can put waypoint time in Nigeria Manila. They also say the angel for go to the people there and convince them to say na Manila na Nigeria.
All right, and so then the things and then on the way happen at the country in the past week, of course. Like how when I don't see plenty things that happen. And so now we go straight to the program. And inside the program this week here, just like how we don't say, we are going to exclusively talk about the national issues in the country. Things that will be done to happen at Sierra Leone since 2028, where the All People's Congress handed power over to the Sierra Leone People's Party. And so for talk on the issues, then we get Naya so today two gentlemen where they're very involved when it comes to Sierra Leonean issues. Both of them belong to the two predominant political parties. On the screen, you go see Mr. Samuel Delito Toure, where the member of the All People's Congress, one of the main opposition political party na Sierra Leone. And of course, also in our midst today is a brother, Mr. Lansana Amara, who can normally call as Lance Amara. He is a member of the Sierra Leone People's Party. And so both of them and they highly involved in Sierra Leonean businesses. So, guys, can you say hello to our viewers?
Yeah, can I go first?
Yes.
Hi, viewers both home and all over the world. Mina Lansamara, member of the Sierra Leone people.
You know the left forward and now share you for share them. You need to take forward.
Yeah, when they get you a Delito, we are getting you live.
A member of the Sierra Leone People's Party. They come on here today for kind of shed light on what we party don't do in the last 4 years, what we inherit, and where we are today and where we're headed. Again, as I do that, I do them wholly and solely on my own. I'm not there for represent SLPP. I mean, just a member. I'm not in this program in an official capacity. I look forward for share the good works of the party. Against the backdrop of what they inherit versus where we did today with the two calamitous situations the way they befall the entire world. I look forward to interacting with everybody. Thank you.
All right, because Mr. Samuel Delito Toure, you want to also introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sherix, for giving me an opportunity again for come back on your site after a very, very long time.
Right.
Yeah, where I be even for say, hey, my man not happy, don't train me or thing. But anyway, it's always good to connect back.
Yes.
My name na Samuel Delito Toure. Then Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And as you don't say earlier on, I'm a member of the All People's Congress Party, the party where they for develop the country of Sierra Leone. But however, I want to make it clear that for this very discussion, I not represent the party officially. So all what they talk, na my own opinion is no official statement from the party or party position. Okay.
Right.
Again, thank you to everybody for the opportunity, and I look forward to a very civil and productive discussion.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Of course, they know say we in Sherix, we stand for the truth as always. And of course, we are all Sierra Leoneans. And when issues of this nature don't arise, we always can get the emotion, the sentiment for joining and say thanks. And so in the middle of this broadcast today, we get for bring up the QR code. That QR code they get for link we up to the QR code will link we up to a form we don't create for let we do a survey. You'll get an opportunity as a viewer for do a survey, for able for tell we how you see the debates they go, how the presentations that they go, waiting at the topics that way you led, and all of that. And so at the end of the day, we were able to determine as to who that do very well for this debate, including myself. If I ask fair questions, and if I don't do well when I get right, for tell me that as well. So we get to go into the debate right about this time. We are going to go into the debate right away. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I now want to invite the two debaters to the first question. So we want to know, and I guess for start with Delito, we want to know by your own perception and knowledge of things that will happen at Sierra Leone, what you go tell with viewers then about waiting to be the status of Sierra Leone as a country in 2018 at the time where the former president, His Excellency Anes Kroma, they hand power over to the current president now, retired Brigadier General Julius Madabio. What's your knowledge of the status of the country, sir?
Comment on the one very important thing, because I believe that's not the foundation for any other thing will happen. Once we get them right, every other thing will get them right. And that's not the thing we make we all be the same people, Sierra Leoneans. National unity. For we see ourselves as brothers and sisters, as people we belong to the same country, regardless who say you born, regardless you tribe, regardless you region or your religion. I think that's not the most important thing as a country. Once we get them right, we go get every other thing right. But if we miss them, every other thing we they fall behind and just patch with the patch. And I think that's not one thing where any honest Sierra Leonean, regardless the party belong, you go agree say now one thing we in 2018 it been there. But now it not die too, but it don't sick and the sick it stronger. And if they say it don't die the next moment, I think we're not going to surprise. That is the way when they see yourself as the same people there, when they talk together, when they interact, in not this way anymore. In not this way. One typical example was 2 days ago. Ibrahim, you know, because you don't live in Philadelphia, I go to Woodland, and I go to one side. I meet 4 people there. I mean, with Snap, with they talk. The 2 of them, one was a Kenyan, one was a Guinean. The other one is Sierra Leone themselves can join. So with the talk, and here is somebody else. We're not been the part of the conversation, not be no, even not to the talk about self. And just come inside. And the first thing we do, not even for greet, join Panic Talk and pick a tribal card and throw it straight on me. I was like, what? And he accused me for a tribe where I don't even belong because he's not having me. He accused me for a tribe where I don't even belong to. Yeah. So I was like, what's in the gun? So immediately the guy from Kenya, and I say, look, guys, let's end this and let's go. I know what thing this they do in my country. So therefore, I get a position. Any conversation will belong with bring on tribalism and so on, say I'm out of it. So all man come on inside now the place, the all man take him to and we left the guy outside there. I don't know how he felt. So that's not the kind of thing we're very, very important. And when we believe say now the foundation of everything. And that was one thing where I believe say the honest regime left him. Okay, we all been to see ourselves as one. We all been to interact. But now we interact. But if we are sincere, now only very few of we now. Plenty now, not even want to talk to them company, and that is too bad.
All right. Yes. Thank you very much, Brother Delito. And so, Brother Lance, according to Brother Delito, is that the condition in which the country was, the status of the country at the time where the APC they hand over to SLPP was that we all as Sierra Leoneans then they get along, but now they happen 4 years later. What do you say about the status of the country that was handed over to this current president?
For let peace exist in any country where you get politically charged backdrops coming from two different angles, and when you do a transition in a country, that is why it's very important that the losing party immediately take steps to, one, congratulate the winner and reassure in supporters, say we only get one president at any given time, and congratulate them. But when a political party refuses to do that, you're leaving your people believe in something. We all saw what happened in the United States, a clear-cut election, but because we had a head of a political party, we been get bone for pick, we refused for back down. We saw the instigation what happened within supporters. The last 4 years has been no different in Sierra Leone. We just not been, thank God, get to that level. But we all hear with Samura Kamara talk say, it gonna make that country ungovernable. In the last 4 years, we don't see the divisiveness in our country. Yes, there was relative peace in the country for 11 years. You know why? The SLPP as a political party, when they lost election, under very cloudy circumstances, with current president, they not go out and incite. Like Barbera before him, under questionable circumstances, accepted defeat and congratulated President Nkrumah. And President Nkrumah formed in government. Nobody no go out and challenge them. They jump in the street. They delegitimize them. They call on tribal names. They say APC is a tribal party, even though we all saw the makeup of the cabinet overwhelmingly. Fast forward, compare President Bio in cabinet today, okay, regionally. Because one way you build cohesion is for people to see people who look like them, who they talk like them, for be represented in a government. Starting from the makeup of the SLPP executive, you see the regional balance. Dr. Prince Harding from the South, Alhaji Kalon from Bambali, Napoleon Nkrumah from Koinadugu, young generation leader, Engineer Kalon from Koinadugu. The list goes on and on and on. But then we don't hear in the social media, the bellicose statements, the threats of annihilating one particular tribe, the threats of wiping them out, the Mami costs directed at them. The APC as a political party, they dance to music. What they call SLPP supporters, they be Peking word. I'm not going to talk on the media. Not at any single time, the presumptive or self-acclaimed flag bearer, Samura Kamara, or former President Nkrumah, or Yansane, or anybody, even new one wouldn't just send a transitional chairman, none not come out and say, hey, we want to stop the tribalism against Southeasterners. They are hospitable people. They host hundreds of thousands of us. We live with them in peace. As far as the peacefulness of the traditional SLPP area, trust me, I don't need to defend them. It is there for all to see. But when a political party feels safe, it builds tension and scared and base with the other party and base, which is overwhelmingly Southeasterner and Mende, that is a way. Because since their inception, they used tribal differences to scare people into believing in them. That bring us to power will be your defenders against those people. And evidence to the contrary, we've lived under this situation for years. We never grab to challenge anybody in the Southeast for tribal fight. But when a political party they in supporters and they call the other party in supporters the B Peking ward, they say they go wipe them out. Not a single leader in another party not stand up and say, we condemn you, you don't belong with we, stop it, we don't want you in our party. We all see way in a reactionary move by Austin Johnny, where then be the all these bellicose statements, where he make a threatening remark as to what he then go do if something happened to President Bio. You saw our Secretary General Napoleon Nkrumah immediately come out and it condemn him immediately, it repudiate him, it distance the party, and say we're not to do that. We are yet to hear from the All People's Congress with all the threats, the mamikos against SLPP supporters and primarily Southeasterners. You cannot build a peaceful nation that way.
All right. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we don't hear it from Lance. Delito, you get any response to that?
I get a lot. I only wish I mean really get Boku time, but my time so tight. But I get a lot. Okay, I go try. Look, one thing where my friend or my comrade at the field for understand is when you take leadership, just like you get the host, everything good that happen at host, not responsibility. Yeah, now hold on 1 second. Let me just turn off.
Yes, my family will wait for Mr. Delito Toure as a don't take a call at this point.
Hey, I'm sorry. Ibrahim, I'm on call for my job.
Okay.
So the call. All right. Sorry about it. When you don't take governance, it's like you run it home. Okay. One big responsibility you get is for keep your home steady. The distractions from the outside, you will never avoid them. But for ability for measure your success, now your ability for control those outside forces, if you allow them for more than control, for more than determine what you they do, then you don't feel right from there. It's your responsibility. Now you get your host. If I'm outside, I'm making noise, and the noise I'm making outside, they stop you for run your host, forget peace inside your host and so on. And forget about that. Instead, they turn the face to me. You are failing right from there. You failing right from there. That why I not get no excuse.
Delete on a 14th, you scream a little bit, so we'll go see you face more.
Okay, you don't fail there, you not get no excuse. And like what you say, so you measure and you start with the first name one for call. I hate for call names. When are you call out? The name Austin Johnny. Now name we will know even before SLP can power. We know that name. If anything then on social media we start abuse and so on, threat and so on. As far as we know as alone, the attitude of him now Austin Johnny. Prior before the 2018 election, we knew what he was saying. He didn't record on social media, he didn't record it. What he was saying. But we never cared. Our focus was for govern. We not been care, we not been get distracted. It threatened them to cut wood and truth and so on. We never cared. So the issue of people are singing and so on and so forth, a cheap excuse. Very cheap. The guys have a job to do. They were voted for a job. Go ahead and do the job. Let them go ahead. If I'm inside, I'm working, and you are outside, you are making noise, that doesn't stop me from doing the work I'm supposed to do inside the office, as long as you're not coming to me inside it. So let me look from other side about it. But those cheap excuses, they're not going to pass. At the end of the day, when they say exam, people in Salo, they're not going to ask how much distraction I've been get. But our focus was in the middle of all this noise. As the writer saying, they see the writer. Go press it amid this noise. With all the noise you need to avoid, what are you able to do? So if you're a bank on excuse, I want to do this, but they were shouting or they were this, my brother. Now a very clear example of a failed system. And let me come to the next one. The very first step where SLPP will take after they win the election, that was where they started to fail. So if they accuse APC of distracting, we see what's happening in the Southeast when they win the election. Then burn houses of APC supporters. Was there any statement from the leader? There was no statement. From there, we see Sata Lamin Nakala, the raper. Has there been any statement from SLPP leadership? No statement. Okay? You move commodity, we can't see what's happening working place there. When they sack people there massively based on either them perceive say they belong to this party or they belong to this tribe. Statistics tell one example. Massive sacking. Does that show that you are ready for unite the people there? It does not. You see, it is easy to say it, but actions speak louder. When people then see what thing that happen, it's louder. One thing we know about APC and so on for Salone, we have one president. Whether we like it or not, we have one president. He has a mandate. Whether we talk him or not talk him, nobody can stop that mandate. Even if Mikra Pratna and Toxi be to president, it don't mean nothing. The people gave him a mandate. And until that mandate they done, he's still a president. He is our president. We don't, whether we go around the street and sing Madabi president or we say Madabi is not president until June 2023, where the result will determine Madabio is the president. Oh, if it's not the say this and so on, they want to make, forget about it. You have a responsibility. And come 2023 June, the people are not going to say how much distraction they come out from APC. How someone have been commending now. How they can go after somebody play music. That's not what they care about. It's like when I've been campaign. All right? You guys campaign on bread and butter. And the same thing will happen. People
can we stay on one topic? Because he's going on into other areas that may come up.
Right. So,
okay. Yeah. All right.
So, yeah. So Dilito, I was going to ask you this question. I am very happy that you don't talk, say, the president now get the mandate. We all know that. But based on some of the actions that we don't see from people that way, predominantly when either APC members or sympathizers of the APC, it's like they don't really recognize this president for being the legitimately elected president. We don't see who side the president began for give a mandate for me then go even a McKinney for remove a generator Brankana Potloko on Alungi Airport. We see halala for don't they impact some people that lost their life just because they say they not agree for let the generator go. So if the president get the mandate, wait to make a good say let something happen in a country, will not allow him for let that kind to be. I want me to respond to that quickly.
Mr. Sheriff, you do America right now. Trump and the man from what they begin talk say Biden not win. As with the talk, so they are still saying it. Is that stopping Biden from doing the work? It's not. Right now, put TV on. Trump and his surrogate. Then go give all kinds of, go to Fox TV, Fox News. They have never accepted. Go to even go to the Congress or the Senate. You see how they are working there. You have people there who have never accepted that Biden is president or Biden won. That does not stop Biden from doing his work. Biden is doing his work. It always does say the people gave him a contract. And that's not in focus. So the idea, you see, you cannot stop, okay, the bird from flying over your head. I think what you go stop, now for not building your head. All right? This not things the way, now democracy, that is what makes the thing very beautiful.
All right. Okay. So, Dilito, I got you on that one. I don't get you clearly on your response to that one. So, Lance, since the APC go into opposition, we don't see a lot of civil disturbances in the country. We don't even see videos of people that way they portray themselves as the APC warriors. You know, then dressed inside black t-shirts. They all, you know, they work out, they show like if for say, then they try for intimidate voters, then they try for show themselves like saying, and then the security for the APC and plenty other things that they would not happen in the country. Waiting, you think as somebody when a member of a political party that is in power now, waiting are your idea about how the opposition APC don't they behave since 2018?
The question was, which he raised, is say we'll not get cohesion in the country. So I tell and say cohesion comes from both ends. We're not to force somebody for make peace. We're not predisposed to peace. We're not to go drag somebody for gonna be into money 3. We not agree good, and the one them from the party we go there. We all heard and saw what Alpha Khan has gone through. So the question was not about whether the president is being distracted. You people are not capable of distracting President Bio. You don't see accomplishments in 4 years. The people of Sierra Leone see it. Despite all underhandedness and bellicose comments and conduct, belligerent conduct, he has continued to lead. He's gaining international traction and recognition. Our foreign reserves today stand at a near $1 billion in 11 years. In 11 years, okay? Anes Kuruma added $168 million in 11 years. Marabio is averaging about $180 million a year to our foreign reserves. That is a responsible management of our economy, okay? It makes some of us, once we realize what this guy is doing, then we're like, no wonder this guy get a respect we get. But I'll go to them all-time favorites. It brings up Satalamin. That is the most preposterous story for a political party for hang their hat on, okay? Right now, as we speak, then they're out there, the usual crowd, they try to raise money off of them. They say they're going at $5,000. In 2 months, they don't raise about $300 because nobody believes them. The kind graphic things that wouldn't say happen to that lady, if it happened to any human being, you will not be alive because she's been all over the place. And don't get me wrong, any violence against anybody is unacceptable, especially females and children. Okay, it said and go burn houses. Hopefully, it will provide us with evidence of houses with them burned. Compare that to 2007. 2007. Okay, at the SLPP offices in Freetown, the guy will lead the assault on that property, then call him leather boot. You know what? After the inquiry, the inquest that pointed directly at him, there was instances of rape, then burned the place. He became President Nkrumah's close bodyguard. He did. He was high up there in the security detail. Okay? So this is what they do. For let somebody go blame government, say, oh, now you're in charge, you're supposed to put these things down. You know what they want? They want to blackmail the government. The one way the government don't do nothing. Then they take accident scenes, Okada accident, with graphic images. Then they placard them inside London and New York, saying, murder view, the murder people, when I see. One boy even protested. He said, the accident is with me picture. These are people, since their founding, they have never, ever relied on the truth and the facts. Where they talk, say, oh, you get responsibility, you're not going to say then they distract you. They have a very, very large following that is mostly gullible, to be honest. Very gullible. It doesn't take them anything. Imagine the McKinney incident that you rightly brought up, okay? Mm-hmm. Then go tell them people and say they were prefacing this stuff. You know, it's very easy for you to blame government. Government get a very, very thin line for work. Just because you're in a government, you get all the apparatus of power in your hand, you get the levers, not mean say you just go put things down. Because sometimes, like they have been doing, they could not wait for let this government act, let them point fingers, say their rights are being abused. Here's a generator that belonged to the government and people of Sierra Leone, okay? They had 2 extra backup generators sitting in Makeni. And one of those generators actually came from Bo. It was purchased by President Berewa for Bo Town as a backup. The sooner they won, because they want guaranteed electricity, come what may, and Eskrumano ever experienced blackout with Makeni. One of those generators was taken over there. So they had 2 generators sitting there doing nothing. Nothing. Okay? The government, in their wisdom, reached out to the city people 2 months out. Okay? And so listen, we need a generator on Alunge where the international airport is. The mayor was informed. The city management was informed. A month later or 6 weeks later, the minister followed up again with her. Until the moment we were ready for can't take that generator, they had their mouthpiece in Holland and the other one here in Ohio called Bangura. They tell the people that instead they can't take on a generator for Kergo Usai, their usual Pinyanya, those 2 foreign countries, Kenema and Bo. That's what they tell them people in there. Because we don't want jin them people into action. just mention the word Mende, Kenema, Kaila, Onkono. As you then on social media, you see them suffering not anywhere but those places where they want to go instigate people them. But they told those kids, they even tell them specifically how to attack law enforcement where they can't take that generator. And sure enough, that's exactly what the kids did. Okay? The police reacted and lives were lost. Okay? That is what happened in that situation. Fast forward when they holler about Tumbo, then they holler about Lunsar, then they holler about all these places. In Lunsar, the only death row occur now the paramount chief and relative who was a handicap. This is what they are used to, propaganda. These are people who be the load woman in Amotuka and they holler all, let's say somebody don't kidnap them. Then they scatter bead all over the place with chicken blood or goat blood. For say they don't kidnap somebody last night. The whole time, multitudes of their people leave Southeast. No one ever grabs it, they don't kidnap in Peking, cannibalism. But this is what they've done over the years. They are running out of those folders. They don't now revert to other scare tactics, disruptive tactics, jump in a street. That jump in a street, now part of them. 1960, 61, Independent Eve. You don't see the video. They were out. These are people waiting to jump in the street for anything. Compare that for the 11 years that they ruined and destroyed that country, leaving it in austerity, leaving it saddled with $2.5 billion debt and counting. Okay? Not one time anybody jump into the street. Where they talk, say, oh, well, you're in charge. Yes, just because you're in charge, you just don't go out there and put down uprisings. You have to have a responsible opposition. We're willing for joint government, for run the country for all of the people. Not for instigate people and for jump in the street. Every time we turn around, you're instigating your people. Teacher situation would have come out front and center. APC was out there. The data impasse was resolved. You could have seen their jaws dropped because there be one, then the teachers then strike so that they will instigate school picking and for jump in the street. Okay? These are people who are not partners in development. Pass for come and take credit.
Mr. Sherix, I hope they apportion the time. Just now your comments are still too long. So I hope they want the time, okay?
No, yes, you can go ahead and rebut if you want for if you want for rebut.
So,
okay,
so these are people they believe in wholesale propaganda. 4 years on, let it tell me one thing when I then plan with the Sierra Leonean people for look and give them another opportunity at power in that country. Their record is based on austerity, massive corruption, massive suffering. In fact, the austerity is just one thing. $2.5 billion debt. Left that alone. Look at the revenue they were collecting in that country. Okay? The revenue. Nobody know what they did with it. And then go take that, say they set up for infrastructure. Well, President Kabal left just about 95% of the funds for every project. And then still not finish them project then they. I go over them projects and they holler about the pie walk. The pie walk, debt with nothing to show. Forensic accountants came to that country and looked at 6 road and bridge projects. $1 billion could not be accounted for. Where President Bio take over,
Lance.
They owed money. They owed monies to contractors.
Okay, brother Lance. We can't forget Dilito for respond to all of these things that you've said. Dilito, what do you have to say?
You see, to be honest, I find it difficult for say anything because me not believe in lie and propaganda. And
Make will see you face fine.
When I talk with anybody, I want to face the fact. I think the fact and the truth not the moves along go forward. The lies, the bogus statement, we not get no foundation, no proof, no nothing, no data. The moves along go forward. Talking of billions and so on, no data, no nothing. Everybody knows it not lie. Then get a staff there right now. Where they not pay? And then get $1 billion reserve. Then they right now, where they not pay. Then they right now, they not pay them yet. They not pay them yet. Then you get $1 billion reserve. You picking and they starve and they not get nothing for it. You get 100 bag later na your store. Even the illiterate person self will not have nothing. It go see you say very funny. With all what you don't say so. And look at it in the go on there. there are people who have not been paid. You get $1 billion reserve. You see, if we let Salon, we are the intellectual them. Let not they behave like the one they will not land book with it down there. When we go down to them, we are not going to move that country forward. And then one thing, Sheriff, you know me about that. When I come to social media, I don't come to argue and lie and make points. I come to say the truth for let move Salon go forward. That is only what is going to help us. If we want to come for say any kind of accusation and so on, baseless one there, we can do it. But my concern always is, what do we do for make sure the Salon go forward? That's not the most important thing. The scoring points and so on, that is fine. All right. So back to what we try to talk about. Okay. I still the same. When you know in a governance, you know what to talk about. You don't bring so many. I refuse for dealt inside the McKinney issue because I know what happened there.
But you
No,
delve into
when I'm done, they will talk about.
Okay.
You delve into Satalami.
Yeah, talk about it, Delito. We want to really hear from you on it.
Real policy, if real government approach, then use them. Okay. Most of what things that would happen, so nothing they don't avoid. They can avoid most of them. But when you get somebody who comes to and call a power attitude, you don't negotiate. You don't sit down and talk with people. All you do is sit on a table, you don't write saying now this will do, moving forward, if they go out, whether people they want or not, they do it. You don't even give them time to even look at it. And that is what is causing all these things. It doesn't mean because you are the leader or you are the president or you are the governance that you can hit for anything when I go one time and they get them. No. Would they see example now? Yeah. Biden goes for something. It doesn't work. That moment, he comes back and asking people, let's say, what have we done? What made this thing feel? What can we do? But when you step out with it has to happen, whether they want it or not, power, then they lead with most of them TSO. Most of the things could be avoided. When you do policy work and so on, we always say you are building or writing policy, you are building a wall. You get for know the wall out and what the wall inside. How high do you want to make your wall? How low you want to make it? How thick and strong? Because it is not constant. It is dynamic. It is dynamic. Policies that make policies that they write in short way that they will stand the test of time. And when things not seem to go one way, you can come back. Let me come back and take a look. What is happening on the right and so on. But when you say this will go this way, and it has to go that way, you cannot avoid what thing that happens. So you cannot avoid it. That was what happened in McKinney.
Yeah, but Delito, I really want for let you go be specific. Like where you talk so for say the president they use the power. I want for let you really tell we like give us instances.
What would you have done?
You went to McKinney. There was this resistance. You agree, you allege say people don't go out and tell out and so on. Okay. Government get the time back for come and engage the stakeholders. We went. This not happen. How can we resolve this thing? How can we? That would have been the approach. Instead of inviting or allowing the police for come with and gun them and open firing.
But Delito, I understand say that they get up to 1 month negotiation with the mayor of McKinney and all the other stakeholders then for me they're able for resolve the issue. But when it not work, so government had to work.
Mr. Sheriff, 1 month is not enough compared to the life that would then go. A month cannot be compared to the life that would then go.
So you want an opposition and also tell government what you do? It was not an
emergency. It was not like somebody in the theater bed. If they not turn the light on, it died the next moment. It was not.
Well, some people then they feel say the APC one they na opposition, but at the same time they want for act like saying that they're a government.
And they never left power. That's
Sherix,
what he wants. Consultation does not mean they take their fees from you.
They got the
Consultation
generator.
not mean them for taking their fees from you.
Those life will go. Then what
because
the
of
generator?
corruption.
Then what it? The machine end up for go, but life can go. Can those life be returned back? They cannot be returned back.
I want to say if they've been killed police day, what would you have said? Because they attacked the police.
Now the way they go. They're not for even go that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they don't let them kill them. They don't get life.
They knew the situation. You see, the thing is,
my friend, the days when we
the police allow the politician them for draw them inside their own agenda. Okay, they allow them for draw them inside their own agenda, and the thing is because they
we all don't see an attack on the police. We all don't see the attack on the police and the judiciary.
Nobody not attack the police and the judiciary. Nobody not attack the police and the judiciary. It was now as I say, now the power mentality. All right,
that is your opinion.
That's my opinion, and I'm very correct. And my opinion put and share. And that makes us anytime they go, then they go with the gun behind. Make people them feel intimidated.
You know why police they carry gun?
Make people them feel intimidated. We get
American police. When you in America, you challenge police.
We get to type of police. We are talking of America.
But you reference Biden.
If the SLPP regime,
we in America, where police in light they run pull over. You want the salon, let them challenge police. And
nobody not challenge them. Nobody not challenge them. Nobody.
Now lawlessness, now una they about.
Now because una get a power attitude, we're very wrong. We're not respecting
the
principle. I'm not expecting nobody.
So Delito, here is this my question.
So list one lie in everything I said about your corruption and your thievery.
You guys are more corrupt. You guys are more thievery. There's more evidence.
Give us
more
instances.
Evidence. Una bloat the payroll. Una pay us billions and so on.
Let's talk about
okay. We are going to come to that issue.
Okay.
Just like we are in Skruma be saying people that munku na eat proof so.
Yeah, because una power, una very brutal. No, not gonna for nobody.
Very civilized and fiscally responsible.
Civilized. These are civilized time. Yeah. You can't be ruled out like that.
All right, okay, guys. What did happen? The people they're not the Yeruna. They're not the Yeruna. They talk over each other, please. Okay, please. They're not the Yeruna. They talk over each other. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, wanna stick around with we as we continue for bring the programs into Una. Right now, it looks like say we don't. Lost them a little bit. We are going to come back and we are going to continue with this debate. Okay? Stick around.
money. Why we do this particular prayer together? Yesterday I talked say God no dey can put wait for his hand in Nigeria Medina. They also say the angel
Lance?
to the people there.
Oh, you man know why he call us stupid again. Oh. he say you tell her that for say they are stupid. Hey. Anyway, they can't join. Yeah. Yeah. Nah, how they call out? Yeah, now the 1 hour thing, I go. So we can't keep them below an hour. Okay, yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I don't send them. Hey, Steve. Oh. Okay.
Money. Why we do this particular prayer together? Yesterday I talked say God no dey can put wait for his hand in Nigeria Medina. They also say the angel will go to the people there and convince them to say na Medina is na Medina.
Yeah, the leader is trying to log in, so.
Yesterday I talked say, God no dey come put wait for his hand, the Nigerian Medina, they also say the angel, for go to the people and convince them to say na Medina, na Medina.
Back in business. Yeah, so okay, guys, would they go live? Would they go live now? Wait, Lance. All right, okay, let's do this. Okay. All right, guys, we are back live. We want to tell we family and plenty. Thank you for the patient which we would enjoy. We lost the connection and we are back. Right now on the screen, you will see the QR code. Just hang your camera on top of it. If you're watching on TV, it will carry you a form where you go able to do a survey for tell we how the debate they go so far and how you like the conversation. Okay, so we ask that you do that. And so openly, gentlemen, we want to keep the discussion civil. Wise to be there at the back line. My man Dilito be they say, Lance, you refer to her inappropriately. So hopefully, it may not be hearing that, but I hope say it will not continue with that.
You did right there.
So you get something for say about that, Lance?
No, roll the tape.
Okay.
I could not call him stupid.
Yeah.
I see no reason to.
No reason.
He called me a liar.
Okay. Anytime they talk between the SLPP and the APC, the debates can always look heated.
It's not even about that. When people believe in wholesale lies, it doesn't take much for set them off. I mean, here we are live. He's already making stories up about me calling him. I will not do that to you. I don't know you.
I don't make up story and not set me off. Yeah. This is not a double coincidence.
It doesn't take much.
It meet up the link time.
Okay, but I will not call you stupid. You're not stupid.
It meet up the link time they done where everything can go off.
All right. So at this point, Dilito, the next question goes to you. And we want to talk about the new currency and the economy. So at this point, Dilito, I want to really get your honest opinion on the fact that we government decide say, then they take off the shameful 3 zeros of our currency. And we know say where country can do currency renomination, they can do and so actually it's not. When country can do a currency redenomination, they can do that thing and then because number one, they want to take the zeros away. Number two, they want to control inflation and they want to make sure say the accounting processes then easy. And they want to create confidence in foreign investors. Then for make them get confidence, say if they can't invest the money, they not go at losses. So I want to get your honest opinion as member of the All People's Congress, one of the opposition party. What do you think about the new currency?
For me, the most important thing out of the 4 things that we name about the new currency, we are the wait for C. You say then do it for control inflation. It takes time for Louisiana.
No, Dilito, I say that a country can normally do a currency redenomination for men and control inflation. I not say Sierra Leone and do them for that.
You list 4.
Yeah, but I'm not saying the government of Sierra Leone then do the redenomination because of that. A country, not general statement.
Okay, now they say so. I mean, I think I'm very correct. Okay. either of these four go make a country shallow inclusive. Okay, go through that process. But I'm saying the most important thing is the idea of controlling inflation. When inflation is eventually controlled, because of that, then the process is well and good, appreciable, and so on. All right. Taking out the zeros for reduced accountants and so on is that profession. They are paid for that, to deal with figures. All right. Okay, that's not get much. That's not get much for do with the common man, the ordinary man. I think what the other man for see is, and I will all look forward to is, this thing has been done, and rightly as you say, that's one reason why countries that can do it. Now, when inflation then feels say things they go out of hand or controller, if they succeed for control, then the ordinary man, the common man, the munku man, go see and say, "Oh, then do so, a day in place." But if that not be the case, where time will prove very soon, then a waste of time and waste of resources. Okay. But the question where plenty they ask with all of this, how much did it cost the government, the country, for go through this process? Again, if the outcome, I am talking as a Sierra Leonean. Let me make very clear, I'm not talking politics on this. All right. If at the end of the day, people that really see and say the economy and inflation is put under control, then the process go be one way very good, and probably then go look at the value for money we they achieve. But if at the end of the day, we see prices that go up, we see inflation not checked, then it's a waste of resources.
Okay.
So, yeah. So for now, we are still looking at it. Some people go down rush for this statement or give a conclusion there. Some of us are waiting to see how it goes. Whether the process we need them or we don't need them.
Well, you know, Delito, according to the bank governor, Ibn Talk say the control of inflation and for control the economy, the currency redenomination are just a first step. So it talks say everything now is left with all of us as a nation for make sure say we don't control inflation at the country. So this is not entirely about the government. Even the opposition APC get a role for play.
Ibrahim, it doesn't seem like I'm getting enough time in this debate.
Ibrahim,
I don't feel like I am.
I did not measure any government. I not refer to any word government. I said the outcome. And the outcome what they look for.
I'm here.
So whether now we all involved in, and whether it is SLPP or any other person involved, now the outcome. What is the outcome?
Okay. All right. So let me bring Brother Lance in here. Yes, Lance. Let's. Yeah, definitely. I agree. So let's go ahead and hear from you on the new currency. Go ahead.
Currency, the nomination, a very good idea in under the circumstances we found ourselves. Okay, part of the outgone APC government, the strategy was to undermine the economic health of that country. One way that I was directly impacted by it, in 2019, 2020, I was in Sierra Leone. The APC was instigating business people for saying, let them know they carry their money going to bank because the government need money, want to take their money. Yeah, listen, because when the governor reacted,
they are not business.
They do not interject.
They are not business.
They do not interject. Let me finish. I've sat through all of your diatribes. Let me finish. Okay? I was in Sierra Leone.
They are not business people.
I was in Sierra Leone.
Making profit.
Decorum, please. Don't talk through me. Let the audience and hear what you get for say.
No.
Because most times when people they lie, they don't want the truth to come out.
It don't make sense. Any sort of businessman, nobody no go tell us.
But listen to me. Let me give you my rationale. Ibrahim.
Yes. So Delito, give Lance the chance. May it talk because when you be they talk with all fairness, Lance nobody interject. No. Delito, allow him to say something, please. Okay?
I don't begin go back.
No, because you
No. Delito, please allow Lance to go ahead. Yes, Lance, go ahead.
Please.
Not civilized.
All right? That is not good. Let me tell you what happened, and you tell me if I'm wrong. Ibrahim, you recently remember where the governor talks he spent $68 million for entice people for bring money kind of bank. Because the Leone been in short supply in the market. Okay? Let me give you a backdrop to that.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Buddy.
Wait, let it finish.
Please.
No, it's getting to 5 o'clock. Remember what I'm telling you, and 5 o'clock, I get meet you at the start. No, go ahead. I don't tell her 5 o'clock.
So you're cutting through me when I'm talking when you're doing all this. Can you text him?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Lance.
Yes, please. So the 68 million, whatever the talk say the man corrupt, where ACC go investigate. He find out, say, in fact, the guy was speaking in a very professorial terms. He's from the classroom.
He used the word bribe. And
my friend, could you be quiet, please?
Bribe is not defined in any other way. Bribe is bribe. He used the word bribe.
Because to people like you, you're looking for false equivalency. Because when are so thief and corrupt that you could not wait for an example for macho to do to that country.
On the thief pass we all.
Okay, well that's fine. Let me finish my thought.
Go ahead.
What are you afraid? What are you afraid of?
Nothing.
Finish.
Nothing.
Wait.
Yeah, Delito, please give him chance. Let him land. Then you say will come in. You know? Okay.
Keep the way out with yourself. Anyway.
Sorry, so, Ibrahim, you heard when the governor said he bribed citizens $68 million for letting bring Leone. For the first time or one of few times in our country history, we are buying Leones with dollars. You know what they do? They instigated the business community by undermining confidence in our currency. They say that people do not care the money going to bank. And then they created a shortage of our Leones, my brother. They created a shortage. When that shortage was created, if you're not business people, in fact, the shortage caused the bank for implement measures way further shake the confidence of the business community. All right?
Bad policy.
Ibrahim, this guy has to stop interrupting.
Yeah, man. You know?
It's in a guy with a mixed up.
Delito, I don't know you for this, man. I don't know why all the you say you get for go at 5 o'clock. You not go wait, let the man land, then you go come in. Yeah, man.
Shut up, well, that's insulting.
The people are hearing you guys. The people that they hearing when are really, you know, like.
Then aside the owner, the lie, nobody know the challenge you now.
Just like kind of lies, just the kind of lies, right?
Allow me to educate you.
When I get $1 billion reserve,
allow me to educate you, my friend.
You don't educate me.
So $68 million was spent by the Bank of Sierra Leone to buy Leone to make them available to the commercial banks. All right. How did that happen, Ibrahim?
You get $1 billion in reserve. You cannot pay your.
Ibrahim,
but Delito, why you keep interrupting? That's the thing. I don't understand.
That's all about you.
You're interrupting me. You're disrupting the man in show.
Yeah, you don't spoil the show, done. You know, because we don't have time anymore.
I've been in your show over 20 times. I've never been like that. I've been in your show over 20 times. I've never been like that.
No, but it's in an intellectual circle. Why don't you wait? Even if they lie by you, why you not go wait, smart and done? Then you say come in. That's the thing I don't understand.
Because you don't want to let people they hear the truth. Okay, so the governor and the bank spent 68 million. They begin to say the man don't bribe. What happened then was the governor had to, just like we in America, they send coupon gonna use. Okay, as an incentive, coupon would receive for go buy 50% off, 30% off the original price. That was no different. The governor been buy Leones with dollar. He spent 68 million. You know why that came about? People them a way to do business then limits them to, I think it was 10 million a day. Imagine if you're ready for go Liberia or Guinea for go buy market. You need 200, 300, 400 million. Then they say you can only get 10 million a day. How long would that take you? The next time when you go buy your market car, you go put your money in a bank? No.
Economic policy.
Okay. So the bank in responsibility, in fact, that for control the flow of money in the economy. They set economic policy. That is what the governor did. It create incentives. Even the incentives, they also reached out and started to corrupt it. Some man they can't put their money before you marry. The next day, can't take them. So you go repeat the process. All right. That saved our economy. It saved an economic collapse or the erosion of confidence in with currency. The governor did that. Then, of course, when they left office, monies were missing from the vault at the central bank. And when you cannot account for that money as a central bank, now you're responsible for flow of money in the economy. Now you release almost money for control inflation. Too much money to lead to inflation. When you lose control of that, what do? One of the options is to change your currency. Okay? They change the currency for, among other things, control inflation. Make business easy or business people easy for carry the money. Transactions, the cost of transactions minimized. That was the whole reason. He does not want to hear that because, again, that goes directly to the truth.
Right. Well, Lance, I never tell you for saying Mr. Samuel Delito Turedon left the conversation, but we'll get for continue forget the conversation anyway.
You can interview me, I can go the whole way.
These are interesting topics.
They don't like the truth.
Yeah, these are interesting topics, and we'll get for talk about them.
Yeah, they don't want the truth.
Yeah. So it don't left the conversation. It say it get for this on side by 5 o'clock Eastern. So we'll get for continue the conversation. But anyway, so let's talk about the censuses as well. Will have been a very important topic where for don't they have for defend them also. I mean, I get this claim here from the APC for say they're not even one for let government make use of the midterm census reports for do boundary delimitation. They be desensitize the people that for men not participate in the census, whereas some of them we actually see them they actually participated. Some of the leaders then go count them, but they not be one for them people they allow them for count them. So first, I want for we'll talk about whenever from 1963 after we don't get independence until 2021. Now, which time will begin get issues with censuses in the country? Lance, I want for me to talk about that.
The only time we begin get problem now where APC begin use census for gerrymander and hold on to power permanently. All right? And this thing about telling their people not to participate, they wanted to eat their cake and have it. Their people participated. They did. Because if you look at the populations now, most of their strongholds, it was very consistent with prior increments in populations across the country. Now, there was a disproportionate increase in the Southeast for obvious reasons, because in 2015, they deliberately undercounted those areas. You're talking about Bunt, Pujem, Kenema, Kono, Kailan, Moyamba, they were all undercounted deliberately. It wasn't an accident. So what you then try for do, then try for make it look like say they not participate in this census. Their people did. They also acted like they don't know say the decrease we then see for Bombali and all these other places compared to 2015. Now because in 2015 the numbers we then pull for Create, Karina, and Falaba were still in those numbers. So fast forward 2021, those numbers were not going to be in those districts anymore. Okay. So that accounted for the disproportionate large amount of decreases for those districts, but they participated. They've also tried to say, well, how Freetown population dropped. No, this census, if you remember, the government say, Usa you sleep on the 19th of December, 2021, right? So if you didn't answer census question and inside Freetown City they can't walk, that is not where they're going to allocate your number. Your number will be located in Godrich or wherever you slept on the night. In the case of people from the Southeast, a lot of them went home to be counted at home. That accounted for the large drop of the population of Freetown versus the people where they live in the suburbs of Freetown that were counted under their suburbs. But even this, you got media people in another country, we try to mislead the people there. We have a very gullible APC following. We can buy and believe anything. The census was specific. They say also you sleep on the night of the 19th of December. So even if I walk in the middle of Freetown, let me drop in a Pacific Street or Sanders Street, okay, they're not counting me there. And especially if I go Kenema and go get counted there. So that is where you see some of these numbers shift. But then they use them and make like say somebody cheats them. Nobody cheated them. They're the ones that told their people not to be counted. If you talk, say you get boku people, you're not glad for letting count them.
Right.
You can only hide your numbers because of what you don't do. You're afraid your own shadow. Let them know can reveal you big fraud because it was a fraudulent census. In the sense, you look at a 10-year span between 2015 and 2005 and 2015, 10-year span. You say your population grew by 2 million people. But take the prior 20 years from 1984 to 2004, 2005. Your population only grew by 1.4 million, an average of about 700,000 a year. You know, in 20 years. Okay, how then you go take 10 years, you almost double that number in 10 years versus 20 years when at 1.4 million you grow for. But in the 10 years when you do census, you grow by 2 million people. And which side the population grow? All predominantly in their strongholds. Then they use that number. We all don't agree and in confession. Okay, we as a way of campaigning for showing qualification and ability for rig censuses and thief parliamentary seats. Instead of for making chairman because na in thief the seats na Moyamba where APC win. Imagine somebody campaigning on stealing a parliamentary seat as an experience.
So yeah, so Lance, I want for now two things they can go on right now in the country as far as this midterm census is concerned. Now, why is the government, because as recent as 2 weeks ago, the chairman for the National Electoral Commission and the Statistician General of Statistics Sierra Leone, they also don't meet, they don't sign a memorandum of understanding on the boundary delimitation in the country using this midterm census report. Whereas at the same time, the SLPP, they don't take up a case and that they are asking that they not allow this report to be used for boundary delimitation. So in your opinion, what is going to be the end result?
The constitution clearly, within them two people that they do, consistent with what the constitution say. The electoral commissioner not ever engage or embark on boundary delimitation. If you don't get it, it will only use the latest census. The latest census, you look at the constitution, it did it. So once it don't get wind, say they don't do census and they have a number, he gets together with the statistician general and say, hey, based on what you don't do, I need that data because one, they within the time limit now, because they say no less than 5 years, no more than 7, you for always delimit, divide up your constituency boundaries, right? So that is all he's done. He's asked for it formally, officially, and they don't then get a common understanding. Say once they don't go from the preliminary report, which was just to say, hey, here's a brief paraphrase of what we got. We then decide say this number, in fact, is very consistent, is solid. Once that happens, he will make it available to the electoral commissioner, whose sole responsibility it is for shape, create, or move constituency boundaries. That is all they've done now. It is perfectly in line with
So, Lance, let us assume, knowing the APC as a political party where normally not can tell them followers the truth, and then go back to them followers and tell them something completely different from what you don't explain. And then at the end of the day, we see other civil disturbances, we see things that way they happen. Because at the end of the day, waiting me able for deduce from all of this is that the APC may not want this election to take place. But at the same time, they want for let confusion happen. So then at the end of the day, then go say, let there be power sharing. This is what I understand personally. So what if they go back and disinform then people about all of this? What do you think will be the remedial strategies for not allow waiting and one for let happen for be?
They're already doing that. Okay. And let me give you a quick backdrop. Based on their own census, we then do. 2015, when they use for delimitate the boundaries, right? You look at a district like Karina, you have people in parliament with 3,000-4,000 votes. All right, you take that same situation to Kenema. You had a guy that had 19,000 votes. He came in second place, he lost. Because the person will beat and get about 25 to 30,000 votes. You saw the election what happened recently, where there were, I think, 6 elections, by elections. 5 now then strongholds, 1 at Kenema district, which is small bowl. When you look at the totality of the votes cast, SLPP had 51% of those votes cast, even though they won 4 out of the 6. That they tell you say they played with the census numbers to gerrymander because they used that census number of 2015 for create 20 parliamentary seats in parliament. All of them were won by the APC. All of those 20 seats. So what's it afraid now that they shadow? Because they don't, the economic policies they create enormous hardships on the people So the people fled. Everybody want who side greener pastures there, who side possibility there for you picking or go good school, where you picking sick and then near hospital. So people move to Freetown, they move to the southeast. So what did they do? They go out and fake numbers and create ghosts and register fake people so that they can stuff ballots. This is what they are faced with. And you are right. They may create a commotion, but I can assure you, I don't doubt this government. The days where they blackmail Tijan Kaba into folding and kowtow into them, they are faced with a different situation. That is why this president, they move very deliberatively. They go make sure that the international community, they see what we are up to, so that at the end of the day, he has a responsibility to uphold our constitution and enforce the law.
Right. So basically, it's a very, very worrying situation, but just like how you don't say, we're able to surmount them. So let's talk about education, because these were some of the things where I belong for let delete today and comment on. The president prioritized, the development of the human capacity of Sierra Leoneans using education. When the APC began in power, there were a group of children in that country they wouldn't really exclude from acquiring education, and that's not the girls. During the Ebola crisis, some girl picking away schools then be closed down, some girl picking they get belay, and then after which school don't reopen, they not ever allow them girl picking and they for participate in the classroom anymore because they say they don't get belay. So what do they do? Then create them makeshift centers. They wouldn't say they for give them accelerated learning, and up to today, them picking and they not able for make them at all. Now in this government, we don't see where the government not only lift the ban on the pregnant girls from going back to school, but even give them the opportunity that just because you don't get belay, that not for stop you for continue for acquire education. Because not a government in business for tell you what you for do with your body. Now you and your parents and get that. But now government in business for provide the opportunity for you to acquire education. So we see plenty of the girl picking and even participate inside the public examinations and all of that. So what can you say about the two policies, the APC policy towards girls' education and the SLPP policy?
Well, the APC policy very simple for respond to. It failed completely. One, their overall educational policy failed the country. It encouraged cheating and spying in schools. All right? We've seen that with the commitment still of some people for cheat at all costs, including private school. We all don't see the videos where people they claim on top roof for run away from anti-corruption commission. Okay? But I think the pregnant girls staying in school has been a huge success because you know what? They just got a second leash on life. Versus the APC era where you get belay, you are stigmatized, you are kicked out of school. And the results are coming in, they look good. But overall education, this free quality education, we don't see year-over-year improvement in test scores. This past week, we just see the tweet from the Minister of Education where we had about 81% pass rate in NPSC exams. And then even the beginning we can usually score very poor. That group at the bottom, the numbers went up as well. So I think it's a huge success, especially being that the government, they spent 21, almost 22% of the country's in overall budget towards education. Now you take that to include also the school feeding programs, where a lot of Pekin and they will probably be go to bed hungry. But now they're about 600 plus thousand of them this past school year were eating in school. Next school year, September, 800,000 would be on that program eating at school. You and I know the country where we dey. Some of the best and most quiet meal we Pekin and they get in school and they get them. So for this president, forget that forethought. For say, let we not only encourage Pekin and for go school, make them free, but let we give them free food. Trust me, it is solve a major nutritional problem for Pekin them. And I don't mean hats off to him. So it's a success. And these are things that this guy will bomb off this show. No one let people then talk about because you rather kaya and hit boss, which is what they are notorious for.
So definitely, so Delito, it don't justify the claims where people that can say APC they know they're good for boss. But anyway, let's talk about the infrastructure. Where APC with that power, they claim a lot and represent themselves a lot to the international community. Say then there's a bid for build the national infrastructure past any other political party. They don't make plenty roads there, other things there. But I don't say this government don't do more when it comes to infrastructure. What can you say about that, Lance?
Well, Honorable Afakan just kind of repeat, say what you just said. Okay, about infrastructure in 4 years, which this president don't do. Let even not go too far. The major projects that they pound and chest about. They did none of them. They did not initiate any of those projects. The one project where they initiate, the Bedondo Bansina, the most expensive road project in Africa, Nina Wilkinson Road, where then go make somebody win bid at a certain cost. By the time it was over, it was 4 times the cost. The projects that they inherit from President Kaba, most of them were still there with President Biokam because they don't embezzle all the money. They don't go muzzle the contractor and to the extent the contractors are getting for making your own profit. You saw all the stalled projects. Kenema Kwendu Road, Usai Binde, right outside of Penebuna, didn't stop him. President Bio don't take and go Kailan. It don't already now signed the Nippon work on the one to Kwendu. All right, you look at Hillside Bypass, that was stalled. Kehama Road was stalled. Bo to Liberia is stopped near Futakweje. Now, this president, the complete time, including 4 ferry crossing points. You saw yesterday, day before yesterday, he just commissioned the Mabam Bridge, where they connect the north and the south. Well, that bridge they've been collapsed in 2013. But because of corruption, the people then faint man and say, if they were we give them this money, then go eat them. So they could not do the work. Magbele Bridge, same situation. And each time where this government come, where they inherit and take over them project and they for continue them, guess what happens? It is pay huge backlogs. Like in the case of Mabam Bridge, now you pay all landowners in that area where they begin for encroach on their land for build this bridge. You look at a city like Bo, you don't get for go far for see the massive work construction project where they go on in Bo, Kenema, all around the country, including towns like Potoru, Futakweje, you're talking about Banajuma, Sowa, all these towns are having township roads made as part of this president plan. The Banajuma to Pujon Road, Gobaru Bridge, that's under construction as we speak. So the president in 4 years don't build more roads than Nkrumah did in 11 years, where it's not complete.
Yeah, so anyway, so let's talk about let's talk about energy, because that's not the other area back where I feel say government they can try. But say it just feel like with me and people then they always they get arguments over the fact say we for celebrate January 6th. So me they talk say I say, but why we for celebrate January 6th? The war started in 1991. It don't rage in the provinces for 8 years just because it reached Freetown. So now January 6, 9 are important dates. How about March 23rd, 1991? So like even the electricity, with everything what the president don't do all over the country, just because some areas in Freetown not they get electricity consistently, they feel say this government not don't do nothing when it comes to energy. Now, what is your knowledge of what the government has done?
Oh my! Let me just go back on the analogy where you make to the wars. The war not even started in 1991, my brother. The war started the moment APC took power in 1968. All right? When they begin most with people them, then 1978, they ran one party through people them throat. Fast forward 1977, 1973, they mounted and perpetrated such violence that the SLPP backed out of 1973 general elections. 1977, the entire northern province went unopposed, including Bont. Both town, then Kanhibung kill people. Okay, so all those periods where they forced people into one party in 1978, they've been already declared war. The war started with economic war. 1982, you know what they do? They with the Dogoso business, where they kill Kemokai, kill and like dog, and got hanged and they drag him with Motukana Street. You see, but most people they don't know say when you talk about situations like that, it's like you put a bunch of explosive inside pot, you put on top of fire, it burn. You don't know when it will explode. So the first shot was just fired on in March of 1991, but the war itself had already started because the person who started that war be in prison as a result of the kleptocracy and a dictatorship, where they just hold people them and they use the judiciary for take advantage of them. That guy came out of jail, he led a rebellion, took people into the bush and attacked that government. And because of the corruption, they were ill prepared to fight that war. You see, so Jaman, they drop gun, they run away from rebel. If we people have not been tightening their belt and form themselves into self-defense groups, then we areas then go be history today. But thank God to the knowledge and wisdom and bravery of we people, led by late Chief Hinga Norman, may he so rest in peace.
Not left their
lives.
Yeah.
Now, talk about energy. Okay? Because these people, like you said, they think na Freetown no more na saloon, na inform saloon. All right? The same light situation we President Kaba left na saloon, na President Bio inherit. Okay? Absent the ship, the car power ship would bring down to that city. If a President Bio, when you look at Freetown, it don't expand electricity. And once the CLSG light is linked up with Bumbuna, let me tell you, you will see an example, the likes of Kenema and Bo that we are talking about today, because them places they enjoy near 24-hour electricity. But now left the major towns them. Rural electrification project. You have places like Koribundu, Sumbuya, Mano Junction, all of these little towns, Tongo Field, they all get electricity under this dispensation. Okay? You get 7 district headquarters, we been get light up to 1983, 84. Pujon, Kabbalah Town, Cambia Town, they all been getting electricity. All went away under APC mismanagement. So all of these are coming back that they can't get electricity under this president. The United States government don't commit for help with energy needs, because with electricity, you attract industry, you attract factories. Nobody no one bring factory in your country, again for build electricity plant, they worry about water, they worry about oil. They just want to come and set up shop. If they set up a generator plant, not for backup, not for permanent thing. We saw in the 80s whether industries that begin fold, cold storage, forest industries. I mean, you name it, they were shutting down in the country because they got tired of being out of electricity. Even when they buy their own diesel, it wasn't enough because petrol not been in the country for buy. So the mismanagement of these people for watch their industries and they go away, creating massive suffering through unemployment. Now in this president, the reverse. These are the things they don't want. Now make every other way, then they jump that street for create an atmosphere of unrest and chaos in the country. But this president get a number.
Yes. So the final question I get now, Lance, is about youth unemployment. You know, plenty of we saloon people that need serious civic education on some of these issues, because Mickey always argue with people that will say, we almost want to make Sierra Leone like a welfare state. That's now government, they can't do this for you, can't do this for you, can't do this for you. People that in that country, they get serious talents, where they're going to use their talent and for able to create employment for themselves. But they are not even doing it. Everybody, they look up to government. And government are the highest employer in the country. Government are able to employ all man. So, waiting your own opinion about how government were able to tackle this issue of youth and employment in the country.
Well, the government already did one. Okay, but as you know, most of us sometimes will get frustrated because those who are supposed to be the mouthpieces for enlightening with people and educate them, sometimes they are falling short of the president in expectation. The government is doing it. In a country like Sierra Leone, Ibrahim, which don't happen over the years because of the persistent lack of an educated workforce. You find out, say, even when we've been getting mineral boom, companies like African Minerals, London Mining, most of the high-paying jobs, down to chefs, were going to foreigners that they brought in, heavy machine operators. And that has not changed much. Even if all the factories and decide for go salon today, okay, we'll not get enough manpower to fill a lot of jobs as far as the experience and training level, technical know-how for fill them. This president is encouraging technical training, technical education. Most Sierra Leoneans are enrolled in these activities. Okay, that is the best way. And above all, here's what they're doing. Not a government in place for create job. There are only so many people can work for government. Waiting government for do now for create an atmosphere where investors then go come in and open factories and create jobs for your citizens, either through fair tax breaks, incentives, getting land, all sort of ways where you can attract them. If you are a member, if your country is a member of certain trade agreements, anything where they produce in your country will not be taxed if they sell in certain places. This government is doing that. So again, a system went on there down like this for so long, for 11 years, companies and left with country, including the mining companies. It takes a lot of confidence building, which is what this president has done. All of the travels where they do, where they lampoon and for. We understand why. You and I, the America, there's a difference between presidential visit, presidential presence, and where they say one minister go. Where the president go, he's taking the character and prestige of his country. When he shakes the hands of investors and say, come, I'm behind you, I'll back you up, they will believe him much faster than they can a minister. And we all don't see where the Turks and other countries and they come to our country, factories that don't begin to open up. Our airport is being financed through a scheme called Build, Operate, and Transfer, not a penny from the Sierra Leone government. That is confidence in and of itself. We saw an investor in Bull. He gets so much confidence in this government, he's built a private stadium for his football club. Trust me, more of that will come because we get talent. This government don't revive for football. Do you realize how many people have been hired to work and participate in that trade, from support staff to actual people whose talent is being developed that are on payrolls today that were not in 2018? He is doing it, but he cannot fix something where they don't broke for 11 years and counting. We had a war. President Kaba started to rebuild the country. This same APC then disrupted him twice, overthrew him twice. Create tension in that country. He hand that country over, give them, instead of building on the foundation the pardon lay, what did they do? Then crumble all the things that way for make government work. With a power left, give them, then destroy all. So this president, the day we enter office on December 4th, 2018, now blank slate, now inherit. Blank slate. These people even loot with central bank for use that money for undermine with economic and monetary policy. So, so it's a heavy lift that this guy has undertaken, and he's been very successful. And they do it without a single shot fired.
Right.
They cannot take that.
Right. So, Lance, finally, now this same question for them put to Delito if you've been able to stay. Elections they come next year, and the people then get for be given the authority again for me to decide on their lives, the future of their country. Now, in your opinion, me if you say between the two predominant political parties that will be on the rules Sierra Leone since independence, there is one anytime where the Sierra Leonean people then give them the opportunity for me to rule the country they go through a series of problems. And then there is the other, when they take up the mantle of leadership in the country, Then they spend a lot of time for fix all of the problems with the other one they left. So waiting go be your message to voters. We get for vote, we get for cast them votes then during these 2023 elections, based on that kind of knowledge they are what they're supposed to get.
Well, the only thing I could tell with people in our salon, the record we just narrate, not a secret. There has been enough cyclical activities now for then self no say. In fact, that is the case. They know what in Usai Pakaba left the country. They know Usai and Eskroma left from after 11 years of pillaging. The Bidehala say we get now the fastest growing and booming economy. But then we left them in austerity. They don't see what in this government they do. Even with meager resources, it don't come, it pull money here, there for educate who picking them, for prepare them for their future. In fact, them picking them in a school now, some of them. Trust me, now then go benefit from the efforts of this president. Some of who don't grow up at the current age, we just need for support them so that we picking them will get a better future. But the Sierra Leonean people are also very smart. They don't see the pace of development around the country. They are not exclusive to any particular region, whether or not the president is based or not. We don't see per local. When you talk about a district benefiting from a political party, all right? You look at cabinet and other appointments. You look at infrastructure and other development. But local is benefiting, and rightly so. And then it taken right across the country. So people then smart. Imagine if we're not going to get this catastrophic double events of Ukraine and then before that COVID. President Biyo ruled that country for about 16 months. Okay, 17 months probably. Now COVID came. Well, look at how he's managed COVID versus the party where sit down 4,000 Sierra Leoneans and die, more than both Liberia and Guinea combined. We economic crater, we lost more money, with GDP drop more than those two countries. What did we do wrong? We mismanaged it and found an opportunity for corrupt the system. So I talk to my fellow Sierra Leoneans. Do not let fly-by-night politicians come to you and blame any politician, President Biyo in particular, say, I'm responsible for petrol problem or the price of goods. The whole world, compared to Ebola, when are just 3 countries, where them people are not able to manage. Imagine if not them be in charge of coronavirus today. Okay? Like Liberia teams, they pass in the street, they arrest people, then they carry them, go, they spray them with bleach for kill them. Because that's what they kill the vast majority of the people them. And they spray them with bleach. As you go toilet 2-3 times, then create number for pay your neighbor, we go call, say they don't see somebody with a vomit. Or don't go toilet twice. This is how they manage Ebola in our country. Go take Paolo Conte, say let be Ebola CEO. We all saw the job he did. Thank God, the God not great, it take Gongo State House, where them kick and come up on the coronavirus task force, because I said before, kill people then back. We'll not be needing expertise. We don't want experts who kill people. This president not hire Austin Demby, one of the world's preeminent public health experts, #1 in the world. Okay, it don't bring John Tabi infrastructure. We build certain countries, not Southern Africa. These are people where this president bring. It bring money in a senge. We all don't see what he do for education. When I want to let all down the reverse. Apart from that, when I don't hear the threats, and this threats not for Southeastern and no more. You and APC will come on at the north. The thing where they come for you, if you allow APC for come back na power, you not go ever leave for talking, let alone people in the Southeast. They know better than that. They're not going to fall for this gimmick because they see this president, the woke. Despite all the external pressures where they affect the world, it don't make sure say it continue for stay on top of what they happen to people them. It feels sorry for them. It makes sure say their welfare is taken care of. And trust me, he's not done. So let we not make a mistake. Let somebody not fool we and make it look like say now President Biyo caused the problem with on the world. He has nothing to do with it. Not to enter Russia for invade Ukraine. Ukraine want to see now the largest producer of grain in the world. Now they're the 4th largest producer of energy. Okay, Russia and #2 are in the world. Well, the whole Western world don't decide say they're not going to buy Russian oil. Well, what don't happen? Then why would be they buy from Russia? They all don't go outside small country like we be they buy. So then they buy more than we, then get more money. The higher they raise the price, then they afford them. But then say the more than now. So let alone we for bless this president, we know they go through within countries like Sri Lanka, they go through, where they don't even see petrol for buy. This man get a forethought for bring petrol in our country, and they do them. That reserve with the report 10 days here. Trust me, you for go to sleep at night, knowing say you get president with an economic team headed by the Minister of Finance, Dennis Vandi, the bank governor, when I in control monetary policy, we get near 1 billion. Trust me, this president will use that money to cushion the hardship where they come at we. Because this thing is not over. Make no jokes about it. But when I don't make harsh decision, let somebody come fool you, then fly by night fast talking liars, don't follow them. When I re-elect President Bio for better Sierra Leone, because you can see the president will benefit you. Now in first 4 years, you see him. Alpha Khan talking yesterday, and he's not wrong. Now veteran politician, it been the APC. Victor Fobi don't talk him. A veteran politician, it been the APC. They cannot all be wrong. When I not let APC fool una with tribalism and lie.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's now Brother Lansana Amara, commonly known as Lance Amara. We want to say plenty thank you to you, Lance, for your insight, for your knowledge, and for your service at all times. We can always count on you for analyze issues and for we now Sherix. Thank you very much. Anytime we need you, we'll go bring you back on, brother. Thank you. Right. Thank you very much, Lance. Right. And so, me people, them now that's we able for bring come to una today. Unfortunately, we young man when Samuel Delito Toure are not able for continue for participate in this debate. He interject a lot, he interrupt a lot, and finally he been get for left the debate. So it is sad that he did that. But anyway, we'll get the QR code right here. The QR code is right here. If you get chance, now for put your phone, your camera on top of it, and it will take you to the form, and you go able to fill out the form. So later on by the following week, or the broadcast, we'll go able to announce the results of the debate, or maybe not even the following week. We go Branca as a special program for able for announce them so that you go know exactly what's happen. But once more, we want to take you back to what happened to the country or inside the country in the past 2 weeks. I want to bring that to you exclusively. In the first place, we want to give you the Sherix weekly updates from Sierra Leone. Of course, number one, we know say the country don't unveil, the president don't launch a new currency. Now Sierra Leone, we don't get a new Leone. Of course, taking away the 3 zeros from the new Leone. Instead of the Bank of Sierra Leone, where the crowd they cheer up to him, the people are genuinely happy that we have a new currency, and that's the president. And just as we don't get this currency, we don't also the government don't announce say with foreign reserve don't increase from $677 million in 2020 to $936 million in 2022. We are very close to $1 billion with a B, $1 billion in foreign reserve inside the economy right now. Right, and so that's now good news coming from Sierra Leone. Update number 2. First, we see the president don't commission the Mabang Bridge right there in the Ribi Chiefdom of Moyamba District. Bridge where we don't dilapidate. Now the bridges where they link Moyamba District and Port Loko District simultaneously. He says that in Pekin, they in a Harper School for girls, and they always worry. Update number 3. The Statistician General and the Chairman for the National Electoral Commission, they also don't sign the Memorandum of Understanding for the delimitation of boundaries for the 2023 elections. And that data is coming from the midterm census report, just like how we don't talk now. So that is going to happen definitely, as you can see the 2 of them sitting there holding the Memorandum of Understanding. Update number 4. The World Bank. Government in hard work we don't get big gain at the World Bank. And what should happen at the World Bank right now? The World Bank therefore makes Sierra Leone the benefit from what we call the International Development Association grant, way now for 76 countries. Update number 5, because with Pikine within a primary school, we see the national primary school examination and get 81% passes, and more girls Pikine go school. 2.6 million children and $26 million textbooks, school subsidies, and plenty other expenditure where government don't spend on it. Update number 6. The president spent time in Kenema in the eastern region for pray with the Muslims then the Eid al-Adha that has been established inside Kenema district. If you know, Kenema district now the stronghold of the SLPP government within our power. So the president spent time with them because Kenema. So this now we weekly update every week on Sherix. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to say plenty thank you to una for where una the watch we at all times. And like I would say, we get the QR code right here. You can able for put your phone, your camera on top of it right now, and able for going at the form we'll get for the debate, so that you go able for take that survey and tell we what you feel about the debate will just take place now. Yeah. All right. So once more, I want to take this opportunity for express me thanks and appreciation to each and every one of you for for una diligence, for everything we wanna do, what can I say, for everything that you guys do to follow us, for always make sure say wait till the broadcast now when the follow-up. We want for tell una plenty thank you. Once more, Mina Ibrahim Sharif.
Look like Mango just knocked 2 rackets and pull on safe.
Once more, Mina Ibrahim Sharif. Of course, I come to una today from Houston, Texas, in the United States of America, live from a studio based here in Houston. I want to say plenty thank you to una. All right? Thank you very much.
Yesterday I talked say, God know they can put way for his hand, say Nigeria Medina. They also say the angel, who go to the people and convince them to say